So I recently got my hands on an elusive PlayStation 5, and I know what you're thinking. You paid a scalper, didn't you, you piece of shit? You couldn't wait another year like the rest of us. You know what, I'm glad you're as tall as a 2-year-old is articulate, because you're part of the problem. No, calm down. I didn't pay a scalper. I have a bit of dignity after all. You know what, I'll actually tell you how I got my hands on it. It's a good old classic method of taking YouTube's advice. Yeah, I don't know why this popped in my feed, but just replace GPU with PlayStation 5, Xbox One, CPU, girlfriend, anything you want really. I think Sony was selling PlayStation 5 themed shoes at a point. It doesn't matter. It's kind of hard to argue with someone when you just shit yourself.
Say that again? I couldn't hear you over the sound of me shitting myself.
Yeah, just find anyone leaving a store. They're guaranteed to hand it over, no problem. So what's it like to have a PlayStation 5 though? Well, let me tell you, it fucking sucks. There's no classical music playing when you take it out of the box. No one's kissing the very floor I walk on. I'm still getting evicted at the end of the month. Everyone looks at me the same, but it doesn't come with a complimentary download of The Last of Us 2 with a Neil Druckmann wig. I don't get it. I even did the good old look at what I got, please acknowledge me online post. Hopped on the hot tub meta for a quick moment and nothing. The only person running towards me when I turned this thing on was good old Uncle Tom. I guess he managed to get some type of magical powers because both his hands were on my shoulders, but I was still getting a massage. Anyways, with your expectations properly tuned, I mean, I kind of have no complaints. If you guys are new to the channel, a basic rundown, well, I guess the way to put it is my gamer resume, because I gotta prove myself. Gotta verify my credentials to a bunch of strangers. These last couple years I've played exclusively on console, specifically PlayStation 4. Since February though, I have been playing on a very powerful PC. Going from a very high-end PC to a PlayStation 5, obviously they're not gonna compare, but there are some noticeable improvements. A big immediate one, hands down, is gonna be the fan. Whenever you're playing any game, doesn't even matter, this thing is radio silent. So now when you're playing online, it doesn't sound like you're on an airstrip running after your flight that is in the middle of getting ready to take off. Or your room starts to smell like someone just burned a bunch of popcorn inside your PlayStation. Cooler, quieter, doesn't smell like shit. I don't know why mine did, but it's not a problem with my PlayStation 5. Load times are also much faster. If you're someone who's been tricked into watching my other content related to Doom, and you're a console player, you're most likely familiar with how long the loading times are in that game because you fucked up, listened to my guide, and died on Ultra Nightmare, so now you gotta wait on this loading screen. Now, to put into context as to how long those loading screens are on a PlayStation 4, I can calmly put down my controller, go to the refrigerator, get something to drink, calmly walk back, crack it open, take a drink. I live in a 2-story house. I can briskly walk up the stairs, kick open the door to my brother's room, smack the shit out of him because I don't know how to handle my emotions, grab something of his, leisurely walk down the stairs with whatever I took, sit in a chair in my room waiting for him to initiate round 2 because I took something of his and he's not gonna take an ass beating laying down. We'll fight for, I don't know, 30 seconds. One of us is probably gonna get a concussion. We'll hug it out, cry a little bit. He'll leave. I'll look at my TV and I'm still on a loading screen. I have enough time to get something to drink and initiate a small family Royal Rumble followed by a soap opera, and I'm still waiting. PlayStation 5, no, I have enough time to run to the fridge and come back. Not even enough time to drink it. You just run, grab it, come back. Or even if you're playing Ghost of Tsushima and you get your ass killed, you're gonna spawn in quicker than you expect, and you're gonna probably end up like me and just constantly be on a death loop. Speaking of Ghost of Tsushima, or even, I guess I could say any PlayStation exclusive from Ghost to Spider-Man to God of War, them all running at 60 FPS is a game changer. Kratos' disapproval for his son has never been so smooth.
What are you doing? Do not be sorry. Be better.
It's so fucking clean.
Blind.
So after being treated with the ultimate experience on PC for these last couple months, switching over to the PlayStation 5, I'm thoroughly impressed. Haptic feedback is also cool, but as you'd imagine, it's something better in a single player experience rather than, say, Call of Duty or a multiplayer game where you're gonna want that extra speed. Having that extra resistance, while yes, much more immersive, is probably gonna screw you over in a competitive sense. The only thing that really holds this back, in my opinion, is Sony being greedy. I'm sure this is nothing new, but as we're slowly getting closer and closer to the year 2022, and hopefully the consoles start to become much more readily available for everyone, you're gonna start to see more people acknowledge this, but first-party games on PlayStation 5 are much more expensive. Returnal, Ratchet & Clank are $10 more than other AAA titles. I'm assuming Horizon Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok is gonna also be an additional $10, and even Ghost of Tsushima, which is getting a DLC next month, which is fine. You know, I have no no complaints about them charging extra for a DLC, especially for a game as good as that. I'd happily dish out a little extra cash, well deserved. But to have to charge for an upgraded version from the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 5 version, whereas other games are just outright giving it to you. Examples of this being Doom Eternal, Star Wars The Fallen Order, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Borderlands 3. Speaking of Borderlands 3, with crossplay being a thing, with the exception of the PlayStation platform and Sony requiring, or I should say allegedly requiring, royalty compensation to even allow crossplay from their platform to other platforms, just gives them a really nice streak of anti-consumer actions, which kind of sucks, and I'm hoping that isn't true, or in the future no other problems like this arise, but who knows. But to wrap this up, is a PlayStation 5 worth $900? Hell no. I wouldn't go any higher than the supposed retail price, and honestly, if you got a good or decent PC, I'd say stick with what you got. Unless you're interested in first party titles, which I don't think any good ones are going to be coming out until next year, being with God of War Ragnarok, and then Horizon Forbidden West, maybe Ghost of Tsushima's DLC if you enjoyed the base game, but if you got a PlayStation 4, the DLC is going to come out on that platform anyways. I mean, without a doubt, it's awesome to see how far consoles have come. The PlayStation 5 being powerful, I'm pretty sure the Xbox Series X is even stronger than this. You really can't go wrong. The sad thing about it though is with the world still kind of recovering, consoles, GPUs, everything is still short on supply. It's kind of sad to be talking about consoles or anything else that's brand new because everything is so damn rare. Anyways, I didn't want to repeat the same thing everyone else has talked about. Just kind of wanted to give my 2 cents about this since I've been getting asked. And truthfully, if you got a halfway decent PC, it's not struggling with modern games, you're not really that interested in first party titles. With crossplay becoming bigger and bigger, Microsoft is really seeming to integrate PC players into Xbox exclusives as well. I'd say kind of stick on that platform. I'm interested to see how far Sony's willing to push this extra $10 thing, and I'm curious if the pandemic never happened and PlayStation 5s were much more abundant, how would that go? Would people still let that slide? Is it because the consoles are rare and they're just focused on trying to get their hands on a console, they're not focused so much on how much games are costing on it? Would it never have been that big of a deal, or is it just Sony kind of taking advantage of the situation and seeing how long they can stick with that? Let's talk about it down in the comment section below, or you can join my Discord. There's always a link.